Okay, guys, today we are focused on standard RL7. I'm excited to begin this journey with you. It's one of my favorite standards, and it has a lot to do with what we love about literature and why we still talk about it outside of the classroom. So, hopefully, you'll find some relevance in this to your own life, and I look forward to walking through this journey with you. So before you watch the rest of this video, it's important to know this lesson builds upon or is built upon, excuse me, from prior standards. So take a look at the list to the right. If you haven't mastered figurative language, characterization, setting, mood and tone, or theme, then some of the things I'm talking about today might be kind of confusing. So stop here and check to make sure you've completed mastery checks for all of the previous skills. So as I mentioned, I love this standard because, I love to read, I love literature, but I realize that not all of you do. So this standard really kind of gets at how do the ideas that we're reading about, because the teacher said we have to, how do they kind of transition into our real life? So let's unpack the standard. RL7 says analyze the representation of a subject or a key scene in two different artistic mediums, including what is emphasized or absent in each treatment. Basically, this means is when an idea from literature represents itself in something else, like maybe a song or a film or a play or a ballet or a piece of art. Some of the pieces of literature that we're studying in this class are enduring ideas and stories. So, what is it about them? But when we look at these stories in a new medium, modern medium, a different situation, we want to look at how are they similar? How are they different? And why is that even important? By the end of this unit, I hope we'll be able to clearly answer the question, and it's all subjective. We're going to debate it, but the question is, are Shakespeare's ideas still relevant to us today? I think it's pretty clear that you'll know that I'm biased, that I have strong opinions, but you can prove me wrong. Or maybe you'll see that Romeo and Juliet has been turned into countless movies from the 1930s to 1990s, even to cartoon features. And then, of course, you have the Queen, Taylor Swift's version, Love Story. You all know the words, love it or hate it. It's a dominant idea that just keeps coming back. And then if you look over to the right, this is an image of a structure, a building in Verona, Italy, which is said to be the inspiration behind Juliet's home. And people come from all over the world every year and write letters to loved ones or wishes for someone to come into the life that they could love. So it's clear that Romeo and Juliet is an idea that we should explore. It would be really hard to answer the question about the relevance of Shakespeare if I asked you to watch every single movie, every single play, every performance, or any medium that shows Romeo and Juliet. However, we're just going to read some excerpts from the play. We're going to watch some scene from some of the movies, and we're going to listen to some music. So keep that in mind. Remember, one bite at a time, like an elephant. You'll also have to do some guided note taking, creating organizers to kind of organize your thinking because there's so many different mediums we're going to look at. It is important to organize them. I have some examples for you that I'm going to walk you through today, and then you could create your own version if you'd like. And then by the end of this unit, we will have a big group discussion to answer the question, do you guys, you know where I stand, but do you think these ideas are still relevant? So be prepared for a Socratic seminar. So I'm going to walk you through the organizer I've created for you to track your thinking as you're reading and watching and listening. It's a lot. We've got all of the previous skills we've worked on, such as figurative language and character traits and so forth. But remember, just do it one bit at a time. No, we all think differently. For some of you, it might be easy just to go down from each section of the organizer and to complete one section at a time, but maybe you just focus just on language of the scenes that you're analyzing, or maybe you focus just on character traits. You can do that and you can chunk it and do it bit by bit. Or as things unfold in the story, you can just list wherever it lands in the organizer. Choose the style that works best for you. I'm going to focus on chunking it one section at a time. for now. So here I've kind of zoomed in on that first section of the organizer about Shakespeare's use of language and about the director's use of language in the Carlyle version, the 2013 version film. Um, so you'll see these are notes that I took as I was watching the film because I'd already read the play. So I read the play first, Act 1, Scene 1, and then I watched the film, and here's kind of what I came up with. So in Shakespeare's version, the opening scene is filled with vulgar language and jokes, dirty jokes, really, from the servants that work for both families. I noticed that it was written poetically, and we analyzed that in a previous lesson that it's iambic pentameter. So it's a very specific structure of the style it was written. And then I also noticed they used a lot of puns. There was a lot of hidden meaning, and wordplay was a part of that. But when I watched the film, there were many similarities, but there's some things that were different. So I noticed that a lot of the dirty jokes were gone, and I kind of wondered why. And I thought about the fact that this is a PG-13 movie, and we've studied before about how film ratings are often to make more money and to keep it PG-13, to keep it a broader audience. They probably got rid of some of Shakespeare's dirty jokes. I did notice in this film version that it was still very poetic and a little bit of that iambic pentameter, but it wasn't strong. It didn't distinctly stay attached to that rhythm. It was more conversational, more the way we talk now, but it was still very formal. They took out some phrases, but a lot of it was kept the same. And that scene in the film didn't have as many puns as the original play. Now, I'm still looking at the same scene. I'm still in Act 1, Scene 1, the opening fight scene, we like to call it, where the servants are, cracking jokes and it turns into something bigger than just words. Both of them are still in Verona, Italy in the Renaissance period, so the setting looks like probably very similar to what Shakespeare would have imagined. It's very historic looking with the architecture and the clothing. In Shakespeare's version, it starts out in the public streets in a market filled with citizens and common people. But in this movie version, it actually doesn't start in the same way at all. They're in a tournament arena. I almost just spilled my soup. They're in a tournament arena with horses and jousting. It's a competition, and they're surrounded by mostly wealthy people. Hi, friend. Sorry, my friend just came to visit. I had to chat with her. Where was I? I think I said it all. The jousting tournament. Yeah, I've got it. We've got this. You've got this. So at this point, I think your next step is to complete the rest of the organizer. And there is not a set amount for each section that is required to fill out. Just what are you noticing as you're reading and watching and listening? So good luck, and ask a peer first for help. Well, try yourself first, then ask a peer, maybe another peer, and then if you need my help, I'm glad to help you.